Hello， 大家好 I'm Grace. Have you seen the new popular show 中文怪物 Who speaks the best Mandarin in Taiwan? It's on YouTube, by the way. 100 Chinese learners compete in Chinese challenges, and the top contestant can win around $10,000. It's a really fun show. Guess what's the first challenge? It's Chinese tongues.
第一关声调考验。电视墙上将显示出每一题的题目，请写出每个字的正确声调。
During that challenge, one of the participants said something that really caught my attention.
我没有学过声调，好吗？我只是学习别人的口音才去讲，所以我完全不知道我其实在讲什么，就是不知道声调在哪里，完全不知道。
She speaks Chinese pretty well, but she said she has never learned tones. This brings up an interesting question. Do you really need to learn tones to speak Chinese? Today, we are going to talk about it so you will know how you can learn to speak Chinese more efficiently and effectively. Before diving in, I just want to quickly mention that if you'd like a chance to win free access to my future online course and also share your insights to help me make it better, there's a survey link down below in the description and comments. Please help me out by completing the survey. It will only take about 5 to 8 minutes. Thank you so much. Now let's talk about whether you really need to learn Chinese tongues to speak Chinese. By learning Chinese tongues, I mean learning the knowledge about them. For example, the first tone is high and the second tone is rising. Do you really need to understand these rules and know which tone each character has in order to speak Chinese? Or can you simply imitate how people speak without paying much attention to the tones? Like the Chinese learner said,
我只是学习别人的口音才去讲，就是不知道声调在哪里，完全不知道。
As a native Chinese speaker, I didn't really learn about the concept of tones until around first year in elementary school. But by then, I was already able to speak Chinese. Since it's possible to speak Chinese without even being aware of tones, you might wonder, could you also learn Chinese like a child by immersing yourself in a language and picking it up naturally? Is it possible? I will say yes, it's possible, but I wouldn't recommend it because there are two main issues here. First, efficiency. There are two important learning and memory systems in our brain called declarative memory and procedural memory. When we consciously learn rules or facts, they go into our declarative memory. We can learn in this way relatively quickly. Learning in the procedural memory system, on the other hand, takes longer because it happens through repeated exposure and practice. It's more of an unconscious type of learning. This is how we usually pick up the grammar of our native language, which is why if you ask a native Chinese speaker about a grammar rule, they might not know how to articulate it. So the question is, can we also learn like children, only relying on exposure and practice by using our procedural memory? I would say it's not the best way because when we are very young, our ability to learn in declarative memory, which is our ability to consciously learn knowledge and rules, is rather poor. But as children, we have a lot of free time to be immersed in the environment, exploring, and picking things up along the way. But as we grow up, our free time becomes rather limited. But our ability to learn in declarative memory becomes better, so we can consciously learn the knowledge and rules about the language and pay attention to its patterns to help us learn faster. I like a concept mentioned by Robert de Kleiser, a Belgian applied linguistic, about age differences in second language learning. Children learn better, and adults learn faster. Children do better in terms of ultimate attainment because many elements of language are hard to learn explicitly. Adults learn faster because their capacities for explicit learning let them take shortcuts. So it's more efficient to receive instruction and learn the underlying rules and patterns of the language, which allows you to learn faster. But I have to remind you, simply knowing the rules and patterns will not make you fluent. You still need plenty of input, exposure, and practice to truly learn the language. The second obstacle to learning a second language like a child is accuracy. When you're learning Chinese as a second language, you already have habits from your native language, so it's natural to bring those habits into Chinese. For example, for many learners of non-tonal languages, it's hard to tell Chinese tones apart. That's because your brain is tuned to your native language and tends to ignore things it doesn't consider important, like pitch changes in a word. Perhaps in your language, pitch doesn't change a word's meaning, so you never really learn to focus on it. That's why it's important to learn about Chinese tones at the beginning. By knowing why they matter and learning the key concepts early on, you can consciously pay attention to them. And also, when you first start practicing, knowing the rules is quite useful for self-monitoring to check if you're doing it correctly. For example, when I was learning English, I learned the rule of subject-verb agreement. Like I is used with am, you and they use are, and he and she use is. So when I first practiced speaking English, I often consciously reminded myself to use it correctly. And after I said a sentence, I would take a moment to reflect on whether I've said it correctly. For me, this self-monitoring was very important at the beginning stage of learning because I didn't want to form bad habits. And now after a lot of practice, I don't need to think about the rules at all. I just automatically say it right, most of the time. Okay, so back to the question at the beginning of this video. Although it's possible to learn to speak Chinese without learning about tones and memorizing each character's tone, having that knowledge is like a shortcut. It can help you learn faster and also help you self-monitor your speech. However, I want to mention that knowing the rules of the language is helpful, but you cannot rely on that alone and expect to become fluent. You will still need lots of input, exposure, and practice to reach that level. So after watching this video, if you want to deepen your knowledge of Chinese tones, check out this video. And if you want more exposure to Chinese tones and practice using them, I recently launched a drill mini course on Immerse, where you can learn 300 common Chinese phrases while improving your tones. The best part is that you will be able to see the pitch of the tones for each phrase, record your own pronunciation, and compare your pitch to that of a native speaker, which is me, by the way. Try the first lesson for free, and don't forget to use the discount code GRACE10 to get 10% off the full course until November 30th. You can find its link in the description and comments. Alright, that's all for today. I hope today's video gave you some insights you can use to learn Chinese more effectively. 如果你喜欢今天的影片，别忘记按赞、订阅和分享哦。By the way, don't forget to check out the show 中文怪物 on YouTube. I'm sure you will enjoy it. Also, quick reminder, if you'd like a chance to win free access to my future online course, don't forget to fill out the survey. You can find the link in the description and the comments below. 那我们下次见喽，拜拜。